Welcome to the Seattle Overload podcast, the first tape review of the 2025 regular season and that 49ers defeat. There's a lot to dive into when it comes to the tape. It was disappointing in many aspects, but often, Griff, when we watch the tape, we are provided with some clarity. Not that we're always correct or anything, but there is the all 22 footage provides a reassuring truth to elements of the narratives that gives a bit more perspective. And maybe, I mean, often with this podcast, Griff, we tend to just calm down and obviously we're really heated and upset after the game, but we calm down even more after watching the tape. And it can provide big topics for us to then fixate on, probably overly, for the rest of the season.
Well, Maddie, that was all very wisely put. I agree with you.
No, it wasn't.
You're becoming a bit of a sage, I would say.
I was just rambling.
Well, one man's rambling is another man's proverb-laden speech.
Griff, that was very wisely put.
Oh, thank you.
You're becoming a bit of a sage.
Do you think so? I wasn't gonna say it, but if you think so,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I guess so. You know, I've heard that before.
So what's up?
So all right, let's do our checklist. Have you seen Children of Men?
Nope.
No. Okay, what episode are you on Andor?
Oh, that's a bad question to ask.
Why?
Because I haven't watched any more since we last talked about it.
Oh, really? So you watched season 1 and you're like, I'm taking
And then
a
I watched
break?
the first two episodes of season 2, and it was just about to
Brother.
get good. And then yeah.
Okay. Well, I would continue to watch so that we can, have our little chit chats about it.
Yeah, sorry. Did you watch Thursday Night Football? Kind of
I
dead.
I
I stayed up for it. I regret that.
I did watch a little bit of it, and you know, the Packers feel like Super Bowl favorites if you had to choose based off of 1 week and 1 game in the NFL league, National Football League.
Or
Dude,
maybe 2 weeks
I
and
mean,
2
because
games.
they were already a good defense, and then Parsons just transforms them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And Halfley, he really spices it up front, and is willing to disguise coverage too.
Yeah, he does some cool things. Like also in like the red zone, the low red zone, the way he plays his post safety, like he pitches them like a hold runner in Tampa 2. He tweaks even in cover 1, right? Like he does some cool things with yeah, it's quite an interesting tweak or take on what is basically similar to the Robert Saleh stuff and then the Pete Carroll stuff, right?
Yeah.
But,
Then on the flip side, Daniels, he wasn't bad last week. He was okay week 1, and then this week he wasn't great, but like he couldn't do much because the Packers just bottled him up. But
well, what was weird is like the
he,
plays, because he did have a number of plays where he had a lot of time. It wasn't all just Parsons and Van Ness and Gary wrecking shop, right?
yeah, correct. But there was a lot of like contained, so he couldn't create.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I know a lot of people rate him really highly, but for a young quarterback, for me to like skyrocket their stock as opposed to like really promising rookie he is clearly the franchise guy. But for me to believe they can sustain it, in my opinion, they need to be able to show like high level execution in structure. And there are always exceptions, but I mean, he was good in structure last year, but he wasn't like top 10. And a lot of people took umbrage with that kind of thinking. I mean, he was a very exciting rookie, but I think he might come down to earth a little bit this year, and not really at any fault of his own, just natural regression of things around him. Like, I mean, look at Stroud. Not that Stroud is much of a creator; he's more of a pocket guy. But anyway, curious to see how the rest of that season goes for the Commanders.
Yeah, and like obviously the quarterback's the guy who's going to get the focus, but Cliff Kingsbury, like that's not the first time I've seen him struggle against cover three. Like they're playing a lot of cover three, and
You
you're looking at the
mentioned that.
concepts, and it's like, what are they actually trying to do here other than throw like a perimeter curl slash fade one on one like isolation ball against the corner rather than like, have you watched the last 10 years of offensive football in the NFL? Like
Right.
dagger, like the crossing routes, like Sean McVay, Shanahan, how they've like literally broke the rules of that system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do any of that, and they're so static as well. Like I know people saying, "Hey, you need to motion more," like as though that would fix a whole offense, and it's not an easy fix thing. But they straight up just lined up in for like 99% of the plays, like normal splits, no motion. The like
Mm.
Terry McLaurin's lining up on the left of the formation every single time. Uh, just compared to what Lafleur is able to do on the other side of the ball, obviously a different offensive style, but yeah, it's kind of stark.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I obviously the Seahawks play the Commanders, and we said McDonald would kind of own Cliff in our prediction, and I think that still looks pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Seahawks would whoop this Commanders team. Uh, Friend of the show, friend of the Matty F. Brown show, Ben Casperson says Mike McDonald would be a great OC for Washington. Yeah, so when Mike McDaniel inevitably gets shit canned this year because Miami's in dire straits, who wins the Mike McDaniel offensive coordinator sweepstakes? That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, he kind of needs a hug.
Yeah,
Like he's always been a quirky guy, right? But up at the podium, he just seems so
yeah,
so downbeat and upset, and even
yeah.
more sort of quirky.
Hmm.
Yeah, he
And
needs a hug.
he's trying to show like leadership and saying the right things and stuff, coming from a very like vulnerable place when he's up there. But yeah, it's the morale is low.
Yeah, um, yeah, sucks
Anyway,
for him. Right.
right then, too right.
Remember what you do?
What, like when I say hit it, Maddie?
Yes, welcome to the Seattle Overload podcast, where we are reviewing the tape from the Seahawks' disappointing Week 1 defeat to the San Francisco 49ers. We'll find out how disappointing that loss was via the All-22, which is going to provide us with fresh perspective from the defeat and some areas to focus on from a Seattle perspective in terms of where they've improved on the 2024 first season of Mike McDonald, and then also areas where they still need to improve, require improvement. And the two topics that we're going to try and cover in an hour, which is bloody optimistic, along with previewing the Pittsburgh Steelers Week 2 matchup. So this is going to be a shambles, let's be honest. But it wouldn't be an overload without overloading on tape. The two topics are how Robert Saleh caused issues for the Seahawks run game, how Clint Kubiak's running scheme, and Zach Charbonnet, Ken Walker. I know there's a lot of narrative about those two running backs, but like, is Walker cooked? Like, should Charbonnet be playing all the time? And then the real big topic, which is a positive, which was Mike McDonald actually kind of adapting his system and his scheme and showing some more tools to stop Kyle Shanahan and tweak things there very nicely. Drift,
True.
where do you want to start, or do you want to share some very brief, like, here's what I thought watching the tape over the first time. Like, this is what I feel better or worse about before we dive into our topics.
Yeah. Honestly, the tape confirmed the broadcast vibe on defense. It really felt like the structure of the defense was pretty good, aided by the additional run tools that McDonald has installed. And then when San Francisco moved the ball on them, it was receivers winning one-on-ones, which again isn't really like a structural issue. It's just more like, well, unfortunately, we didn't win those matchups type of thing. But I'm not too worried about that because the perimeter of the defense the secondary. They usually won their matchups last year at a pretty high rate compared to other teams. So when we remember that Rams game and remember the Vikings game or whatever, we just have to remind ourselves, like, as frustrating as those games are, other defenses around the league have 5 of those games instead of 2. That's why, stats are what they are. And then it was also Purdy creating a little bit that was moving the ball. And, maybe they need to have a better contained plan for mobile quarterbacks, which is ironic because we were talking about Jaden Daniels earlier and thinking that they can bottle him up well in the Washington game coming up. But
And Griff, that's clearly on the mind of Leonard Williams, because in his press conference this past week when previewing Pittsburgh, and we'll be doing that later as well, he mentioned Aaron Rodgers' escapability, movability, and how it's obviously not as good as it was. But my point being, he said it's harder to... He like raised, he volunteered it, he was unprompted, that it's harder to rush mobile quarterbacks with like your rush spacing and discipline. And I think that would have been a key topic in the meeting rooms after what Brock Purdy did to the Seahawks.
Definitely.
To your point.
Definitely. Yeah, so it just kind of confirmed what we saw. I think the improved structure is projectable. And then offensively, yeah, well, I mean, we're going to let the tape speak to us with regards to the Charbonnet versus Walker thing. There is some thought that maybe Walker's better out of gap. I mean, his more successful runs did come out of gap, but I think it's just the sample size isn't large enough. I'm not really sure there's an actual theme there, but we'll find out. Maybe we'll change our minds. So
right, and the weird thing as well is like, and again we'll see it on the tape, but well, I guess should we start with the offense then, Griff? Given we've just mentioned Walker.
Yeah, let's start with the offense.
But the weird thing as well is like a lot of the run, well, not a lot, but a few of the zone runs that Walker was given, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are they're zone based, but they're basically functioning like gap in that you are following a fullback and you're trying to run off tackle and you're not really looking for the cutback at all. Like that's the scheme design. If you get a certain read, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Walker's spoken of his love of counter, which is a gap concept before, and I think that is one of his better concepts. But at the same time, like a lot of the excitement for him in this Kubiak offense was his ability to be so explosive and creative, cutting back zone plays, right?
And even hitting front side, which Kubiak spends more time trying to pop open than, say, McVay. Not that the cutback isn't important, but I mean, and Walker ran a lot of zone at Michigan State. So I see him as a complete running back in the sense schematically wise, but then he's just got his quirks as a runner that are going to show up no matter the play call. And you just have to ride those waves, but the blocking has to be there. And I think that's a big part of this.
Oh, it's not letting me share my... Oh, yes, it is. There we go.
Oh, crisis averted.
Oh, I thought the tape was cooked. So, as ever, good to see you overloads in the chat. Ben, Al, welcome. And if you have any questions, like the beauty of doing this live, like please get your questions in. If something we're saying doesn't make sense or it requires an explanation, like we're here to try and teach a bit about football or maybe teach the wrong things, but try and explain our thoughts as well if it doesn't make sense. All right.
So 22 personnel. And
yeah, which pretty heavy, right?
Yep. San Francisco matches with base of their own. They're in a 3-4 look. Well, no, 4-3 look, but with the Sam rolled onto the ball.
Yeah, it's like this, right? And this is one of those plays I was talking about, Griff, where it's like designed to hit really wide.
Mm-hmm. And so, in my mind, Walker makes the right read here.
Yeah,
You've got inside helmets from the Niners defense.
Yeah, so if you pause it like here, right, if you want to play the pause game, you could see how oh, it would be super interesting if Walker stuck his foot in the ground here and cut up here because we've got leverage here, we've got leverage here, we've got this kind of block here, and we can beat this guy. But the concept, we believe, would be like essentially, as Griff is saying, he is looking to, before the snap, press this landmark here and follow primarily this fullback lead block. And if this fullback lead block gets the helmet of the guy he's blocking, the edge, inside, then Walker is supposed to run outside of the block. So if we go back to the wide copy, you can see part of what the Seahawks are doing here on the perimeter of Cooper Kupp is they're crack back blocking the receiver. The idea being, again, they want to get outside. They're running this literally to get to the outside. Now, running this into the boundary is an interesting choice rather than the field side, but where there's obviously less space into the short side. But yeah, so let's see if Walker makes the right read. Well, Robbie Oots literally gets his hat here. It's a second run play of the game. They'll have schemed it up against this look.
Yeah, so at this point,
at this point here, it's a very clear, like,
it has to go outside.
Like, it has to go outside. If he did this, coaches would be chewing him out. That would be an example of Walker not following the script and being overly creative. This is exactly how the run's meant to look. The corner track replaces pretty well here, and he comes up and makes the tackle.
And we should say, although it's obvious, outside zone lead toss play. Is that what we're calling it?
What? We're not calling it 19 Zorro?
Oh, yeah. God forbid we don't use the Shanahan playbook verbiage. But yeah, I mean, we should just make note, like, all right, outside zone stretch play.
Yeah, 100%. And like, there were not enough of these runs, but a 4-yard run is exactly what the Seahawks are aiming for. Like,
yeah,
if they get 4 yards every time, given the constraint plays they have off that initial look, like zone plays designed to cut back, like play action, and all the varieties of play action, like, they're cooking. The problem this game really for the offense was the lack of that sort of stuff. So, Griff, should we find the next Walker carry?
Yeah, let's do it.
I wonder how quick it would take for XOS Sports to copyright strike us for this.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like, just going through the whole raw file. All right, so a gun run.
Shotgun.
This was a huge thing we were excited about with Kubiak, right? Because of how
Yep.
The balance it gives.
Right, because you don't want your shotgun snaps to just be drop back. You want it to be, you want to have some diversity, and you're in 11 personnel, which is, passing behavior, right? Shotgun 11 passing behavior. San Francisco is in nickel themselves.
Yeah,
they're in their nickel look,
11 versus 11.
They're in too high, or they're holding a too high shell before spinning the weak safety down to the boundary.
But that's a really good point as well, Griff. Like, one nice thing about receiver motion is it will undress the skies a bit more. So, like, it's very obvious that no one really is going to be rotating down at this point, just because, like, you can't rotate onto this guy and play sound football, and similarly, you can't rotate onto this guy and play sound football, right? It's clear that's like a too high shell, so effective shift of before the snap. And then, as Griff was saying, in their nickel defense, the 3 technique is to the tight end side. The Seahawks would know that. And Fred Warner's not on the play. Don't know what happened there, but yeah, I mean, this is a really great example of Zabel's speed.
So what is the offensive play call here, or
It's
rather
trap.
the play trap? So trap meaning you really the guard that has the 3 tech that they're trapping releases to the second level, and then the backside guard
Traps him.
pins him. Yeah, trap blocks him.
And this is rookie Second round pick, Alfred Collins out of Texas. So you can see here how he's kind of a bit. It's a good play to run on a rookie. He's kind of a bit lost. Like he reads the concept wrong. He's like
Hmm.
in a blender here. Lucas does a great job. Shows how athletic he can be. Just kind of dipping around that strike, and then like this guy's gap is here. Like look how in the NFL this is cavernous.
Hmm.
So,
Cavernous. I like it.
but
Now,
because they're in, well, are they in too high?
I thought I remembered 36 coming down.
Yeah. Okay. So I was completely wrong with what I said. But they're kind of getting a funky.
Um, Tactically, though, we would think of this run as a front beater, though, right?
Yeah.
Because you're again, you catch them in a pass-oriented defense from the front. Like, let's one, you got a four-man front, pretty wide, loose alignments too. They're thinking pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got even though that safety's inserting, he's still coming from depth. So you kind of have a quasi light box. So no better time to get in Walker trying to gash the defense right down the middle with a trap play where you're attacking a weak spot in the front.
Yep. Yep. And again, it's hard for him to get more yards. Like you'll take it coming unblocked against the safety, who's coming down from depth, and
Um,
yeah. So they
how
got
do
to
we feel
think.
about how do we feel about Sundell's down block? I mean,
Well,
he
he just
holds it.
he just is. He's not powerful, man.
He just loses a little bit of ground, and had he lost like half a yard less,
Then it's a touchdown maybe because you
Walker
got
might be able to shake the safety.
right.
Eh,
Like he has the bubble around that a bit.
mhm. And
Yeah,
it may be shaken where like he falls forward for an extra two or three. But so how many
that's a
yards
great
does Walker pick up on this?
great point, Griff. He gets 4 yards on 2nd and 5, so it brings up 3rd and 1. Like not the worst
Okay.
thing in the world, but yeah.
All right.
So that's like the limitations of Sundeld right there. Now he made an incredible play later on
Hmm.
the 40-yard JSN catch, which is like his upside stuff. But again, we spoke about how he's more of a zone guy, not a gap guy. This is what we're talking about when he has to go whack out on a down block one-on-one on a big nose tackle. Like that's going to be a bit more tricky for his skill set.
Yeah. But I would say like that's an example of the scheme working as intended, that play.
100%, right? Like they present what is kind of a passy look, and then yeah, run on them from the gun.
All
So
right.
this is like same concept, right?
Yeah, although they run this to
Wide
the no,
side,
yeah, they run it to the field. Okay, no,
A-
they run it to the three tech side too. Okay.
and it's not
Um,
22 personnel.
right.
It's
So last time, so it's 21, right?
mm-hmm.
49ers are in base again. This time Sala doesn't play it straight up. This time he pirates the three tech and the five. And
Yeah,
then
he uh,
blitzes the D gap.
yeah. So he's basically stunting into essentially a 6-2 look, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that means, but you get bodies on every line of scrimmage blocker, then you let the second level just overlap to the ball.
Yeah. So these guys are wanting to get really wide, right? Run their wide tracks. This cuts them off, right? And
Hmm.
shortens the path that they're able to get outside. At the same time as keeping these guys off getting up here. At the same time as then allowing these guys to know, okay, this is going to turn the ball out here, so we've got to get over the top of the stunt. And this guy's now the edge of the defense, and you can see how that functions. Like Fred Warner is an amazing player. He's so good at reading the play. Drift. What I love about him, it just speaks to what a baller he is. He always aligns like 1 or 2 yards deeper because he's so good at keying things, and he knows he has the speed to, which gives him more time. But he also knows he has the
Hmm.
speed to make stuff happen. But
You see
like,
him encroaching pre-snap, yeah.
it's insane. Um,
So where does Seattle lose this blocking wise?
yeah, because this part is fine how they handle it, right? Like
Yeah,
they haven't allowed any penetration, but I mean,
they've got three blockers front side against four, so they create four gaps, and then you've got San Francisco. They have four fitters to those four gaps. So it's bang bang bang. Warner's free into the fourth gap, kind of
yeah,
deal.
yeah,
Um, it's really Barner that loses the most.
mm-hmm,
If Barner was able to gain depth on the blitzer and then work to where he can get front side on him, this would
right,
change everything, because then Warner would have to go underneath Barner and
yeah,
chase Walker from behind.
and Cup would be able to get off this a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Um, and it's interesting also, Griff, to me that they didn't have Cup go up here and then Oots go here immediately. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Is that
a wrinkle, or is that just they're trying to make stuff happen? But that's kind of messy how they kind of like. It's good that they read it in the moment and like didn't block the same guy and leave another guy unblocked, but it feels suboptimal for how it played out.
I think the rules are that the lead blocker is supposed to get to the second level, and 53 is a second level fitter,
Mm-hmm.
and they consider the blitzer like a first level, like someone to crack.
Yeah. We should say this is a very Pete Carroll, Monte Kiffin style defensive call, and it's exactly why Kyle Shanahan picked this type of system because it causes real issues for outside zone. It's a
Hmm.
very tough play to stop, um, as we've just spoke about there.
Yeah,
And
Pete used to pirate like the Stefanski Vikings a lot when they get into their big body outside zone game.
oh yeah, you had some like gorgeous spills of the puller and whatnot. Like even on that last play, it was pretty good how Oots managed to get out still.
Hmm.
But yeah.
All right,
So
so disaster run here.
yeah,
So they're in 21 personnel, but creating a 12 look with Oots. So that's another example of Oots isn't just a fullback; he'll be playing tight end too.
right. Like they show. Oh, it doesn't show on this one, but they showed like pair trips. So like almost like quasi 13 personnel look, right?
Hmm.
Um, and then as Griff said, motioned him or shifted him. Idea being, I think it got them to check into too high. So lighter box, and then they're running like counter. So the guard,
Yep.
Zabel, and Oots are going to pull, but something goes severely wrong. Right.
So they don't get any width in the kick out on 47. Mike, that's Bryce Huff, right? 47.
Yeah, Bryce Huff. Yeah. Yeah, that's not the best block from Zabel. Like that's an elite rep from, or borderline elite rep from Huff.
Yeah, and then the nose feeling the concept out.
Yeah, and this nose tackle here does a great job, and Bradford's not able to stun him much. Uh, and do they move? No, they're just the D line just kicks butt here.
Yep.
Yeah,
Now it still works out that if Bradford can make the block, Walker
yeah,
could still bounce this outside Zabel and inside Hoots potentially.
right.
Because even though they don't get any width on the kick out, you can still the running back can overlap bounce on the kick out, which kind of becomes like a pin block a little bit. But anyway,
Yeah.
all right.
So it's funny to me that just a general topic of conversation, like, because it was really hot, like a hot topic on Twitter, right? The Walker versus Charbonnet thing. I think you could almost frame the Walker frustrations, or it's a similar. It's similar. There's overlap with the Reek Woolen stuff, Griff, in that there's expectations of Walker because of like how dynamic and explosive and talented he is as a playmaker. So then when like you see his raw stats and you see that he struggled, there's like, oh, he must, that's not what I expected. Like, he's not good, or like, there's almost an overreaction. But I mean, as we're seeing on this tape so far, and I think it's going to be a bit of a theme. This isn't even like it's not like Woolen where he did make mistakes. Like, this is more the line getting dominated, like or the scheme kind of getting worked rather than Woolen making a mistake himself. Woolen Walker making a mistake himself.
Yeah, so this is inside zone, or is it? Oh dear, here I go.
Inside zone or duo?
No, that's duo.
This
It's duo.
looks
'Cause-
duo.
Yeah, it's duo. You've got because the backside foot is firing first for the front side players. So yeah, it's duo. It was just Walker's path seemed inside zoney.
That's okay. We all make mistakes.
So he's reading Warner here.
Yeah.
But the nose cuts this off so hard.
And this is the limitations of Sundell. Like, it's another gap concept. He's got some help here with Bradford, and I think, to be honest, maybe Bradford could help a bit more. But ultimately, the whole point of duo would be double.
Yeah, I mean you gotta at least hold him. You can't get penetration from your nose tackle in duo, man.
But so, like, at a certain point, Bradford's thinking, I need to get off this to go up here or go here, and they're trying to double here and then get up here, right? But yeah, Sundell just there's no pop here on the nose tackle, and at that point here for Warner, like, what happens here? What for Warner to be getting? Oh yeah, Bradford goes for Warner. Okay, so they're trying to do. Oh, I guess the 3 techs over here. They're trying to do this. That's kind of odd, right? Are they?
Because ideally Sundell would climb to him, so I'm not after sustaining.
Right. Anyway. Point being here, like, Walker's read is Fred Warner, and the whole point is he'd read it here, and then they're leaving this guy unblocked, Griff. So I wonder if they were running it this way.
Well, but with him opening to the strong side, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I honestly think it's just because Walker sees the center getting cut off so hard.
Right, and
he thinks he has to work backwards.
In, so that messes up how they go for it. What if it's inside zone?
I don't think so.
No, nor do I. Anyway.
Okay.
Good luck, Fred Warner in a phone booth, right? And we also have
tough
rep here.
Cross gets dominated too. So, this
everyone loses basically.
Well, we might be looking at a team that just isn't good at gap stuff.
Right, and it's important for them to sprinkle that in just from a balance thing. Also, even if that wasn't gap, we think it was, but being able to run inside rather than just running outside every time, again, important, right? But they need to find their feet of, hey, what are we going to be good at in terms of those concepts? And Griff, the Steelers are a really good opportunity for them to kind of find their feet there. But yeah, it's funny to me, like, Charbonnet obviously has the bigger box score, But like, none of these plays are Walker being wrong or you know playing outside of the scheme or the reads. Like there's very little for him.
All right, so we're in
Um,
21.
and that's the
No,
same.
we're in
Oh
22.
yeah, 22 personnel again, running to
Two
the
back,
wide side.
two backs, two tight ends, one receiver. 22.
They're playing base again.
They're in base, so
This
they're
was
gonna
such an
run
interesting adjustment from them.
the uh the reduced under or
Uh,
reduced over because I
reduced
well
under over potato patata, right? Yeah.
because who are we calling the Y 81 in this case?
Yeah, I think that's what it is, and it would be under, and it's essentially if they're playing too high, right? So it's to clear up this C gap for this dude,
Good point.
and keep the corner out the fit.
Good stuff.
Um, oh,
So Barner unfortunately loses his rep again on this one.
right, like
He so Bosa just has free access into the back. Well, not he earns it. It's not free, but he gets into the backfield, widening the back path. So Walker loses ground.
he bubbles, right?
Yeah, he's got a bubble out.
So rather than being able to run, when we say bubble, rather than being able to run like a smooth curve like that, it's not even showing on my screen right now.
I can see it.
Oh, you can see it. I can't see
Yeah.
it on my laptop. It's where he has to go like this, to then go round,
Hmm.
which is obviously more time for the second level to get over the top of the play.
Hmm.
And yeah,
But Barner does recover well though on the linebacker. Kind of a good example of Barner's reactive athleticism, his ability to reshape
it's
and
crazy. Cross just shoves him off. Like that's pretty cool. And again, that's a really solid Walker run in the end, given there's a lot of bullets
yeah.
flying.
So this even with Bosa winning front side, this is the whole theory behind Walker in this scheme is popping that C gap or the
Is
D
this a
gap
pirate
area.
stunt again, or is it just getting
Almost.
reached?
I add the through technique is just getting reached.
But for all intents and purposes, it plays out the same, right? Where we're going here, and then we're trying to get over the top.
Hmm.
And this is Griff, the vision of Sundell, right? Like he gets a clean release up to the second level. Look how
Yeah,
fast he is getting to Fred Warner. Like, oh
that's
my god.
pretty wild. So
Yeah.
Oots and Sundell help create this. Now I will say New Orleans yards per carry out of two back last year, whether I formation or offset I. Do you know what it was? Do you want to guess what their yards per carry was?
The way
And
you
they
said "now I will say" sounds positive. So like
well,
6.
no, it was 3.6 yards per carry, and that's not
Oh,
skewed by like goal line or because that's their early down numbers, or like third
holy.
downs or anything. So they weren't actually good at running out of two back with the fullback in New Orleans last year.
No, that's not very good at all.
Um,
But it's a
and
great run.
yeah, this is
And that's
another
a zone
solid.
concept. And now here's Gap again. Like very similar to what we'd seen, right?
Hmm.
Just dressed up slightly differently.
So kind of motion into counter or
Yeah.
almost counter motion into power, but whatever. Same principle. You got to kick out in the lead block, kick out from the fullback, a lead block from the backside guard. Kick
Yeah.
out 40. Oots finds the edge, the MA line of scrimmage, 57. And then the lead looks for really just the first color into the hole, first white jersey into the
Mm-hmm.
hole. And Walker is ideally trying to get the space in between the guard and the kick out block.
Yeah.
And so where does this actually hit? It hits inside Oots out. Oh, and then he works back inside Zabel. So I think that was the right choice
Yeah.
because Zabel's blocking him inside out. So to me, this is Walker reading it out well.
Yeah. Barner has a It's just tough here to get this guy with how tight the with how tight that they play. Like here, 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 here. Managing to get this guy before he flows to the ball is tricky, right?
The spill player. Well, because yeah, he can't get to the second level, so he gets impeded.
No one can get to the second level.
Well, and how are the Niners fitting this? They're not playing lever spill. They're spill overlap at the moment,
Yeah,
and
spill.
you can see how spill overlap allows the backside run fitter, the overlap player, 53 Winters, allows him to work over the top free.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, even though he's free, right? Because Warner picks off the tight end. Even though he's free, it's still a long ways to go. So this is still a
Yeah,
successful run
still
for
pretty
Seattle.
solid yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 yards. Oh, here we go. All right, so 22 again. And again, right, like it's no coincidence that this was a pretty good drive for the Seahawks, and it's because they're able to run the ball a bit more. So this is the same toss concept, but they're deciding, hey, how they played it last time, they were pretty good. So let's pull our tackle round as well for like an extra guy.
Yep. Tackle pull.
So
The
now,
That's a big deal in the Kubiak system.
right. So Walker's knowing, okay, helmet outside. That's kind of looking inside. One thing I would say, and I think this will like he hasn't had many reps in terms of like he didn't have any in preseason games, right? His feel for how to tempo these out in live reps will just improve and improve. Like he's obviously got to run fast, but just the general pacing of how to get the blocks hitting at the right time will just come with the reps, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, Griff, like correct read there and a good run. What did he go for? 4 yards again, yeah. So, and then here, that's an interesting concept. Is this trap from I?
No, it's power.
Really?
Well, so the kick out would be the kick out is the fullback.
Oh God.
He's trying to block the edge inside out, right?
Oh
It's just
yeah.
really tough angles.
Do they pirate? No, they've got severe knockback. Holy smokes.
So when it came to like vertical displacement, Seattle
Yeah.
didn't win the day on the ground.
Nothing. Yeah. I mean that's just easy.
So
And
yeah,
like
they do run quite a bit of gap with Walker.
and they're not very good at it. Like, and it's not really Walker. It's more just this not the strength of the line.
And Walker looked fine in the toss plays. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't look he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't hurt the plays or anything. He did no dancing. We talk about Walker's vision and dancing,
No,
right?
he was
There's no
very
dancing.
disciplined.
Yeah.
So, but the wider lesson, Griff, is the Seahawks probably need to find a way to run gap more effectively. Maybe that is just like on that good trap run we saw where it's they've manipulated them into that like a nice advantageous look. Like maybe they run gap stuff rather than trying to do it under center where they're more kind of and they're in heavier personnel and the defense is in base and they're more like in tune to it.
Now, do we want to look at a few Charbonnet runs?
Do we have time?
Do we want to look at like two successful ones? Just
Do
so
we
we
have
can,
time?
yeah, if we're fast.
Really? Okay. Let me bring it up again. We definitely don't have time, but it's fine. Um, all right. Oh my goodness, my laptop's not liking this. Right, here we go. We're back. Um, Griff, do you think Kubiak generally with his outside zone is more a guy who's looking to run outside no matter what than the kind of cutback?
Yeah, that was the vibe in New Orleans. The cutback wasn't as emphasized, it didn't seem, for the running backs. Kamara still found the cutback because he's Alvin Kamara. He's such a good
Right.
runner. But I mean, the cutback is there. But Kubiak and Shanahan, they really want to pop the front side and find a crease, and I think that's
Yeah.
their deal with a lead blocker, whether a fullback or a tight end.
hmm
So,
So I think that's like important context when we're watching these games, rather than like when Cable was in Seattle and like zone outside zone was run really looking for the cutback. Um, the
mhm,
Seahawks outside zone system now is, as Griff said, looking for that front side.
mhm.
Uh, so pretty similar from Charbonnet.
Yeah. So,
It's technically weak, but like weak
yeah,
outside zone.
weak outside zone. I think Charbonnet's his his the back path, his initial key is the inside leg of Lucas, or maybe his butt. But Lucas does a good job. Does a good job reaching this guy. He loses a little bit of depth, but that's all right.
Yeah, he does a great job.
Great block from Cup though,
Yeah,
right?
Cup's actually because there was a bit of a question when he came in, right? Given he's 32, seen a lot of football, is he actually going to be the same blocker? But yeah, he is. Like he's blocking his ass off. So that's a big weapon for them. If he can still, if he doesn't slip down on the choice route where he's made a lot of his money.
hmm And then you
Um,
also see Zabel doing what he does best.
yeah, well, like that's just a crazy cut off. Like, just get your
hmm
hat across the guy that fast. Oh my
hmm
gosh. Oh, sorry, that's Sundell. Zabel as well, like insane.
hmm
Um, yeah, the interior trio of the line is so athletic right now. Like, hold on, this is the play that is gonna get like. Robert Sala highlighted it after in his press conference because Michael Williams is lined up inside. Uh, but this is this is nuts from Sundell.
Yeah,
Like
agreed.
the reactive athleticism to do this. Also, D Winters, holy crap, he's so violent. Like bang.
Yeah.
Oh
Also,
yeah.
what is that? What is San Francisco doing on this one? And what did we talk about in the
Yeah,
preview? They create
yeah.
5 down looks and run interior twists.
Pat yourself on the back, Griff.
That's what Solid does when he doesn't respect your center. And I mean, it did work this game, but this play didn't. Um, Sundell had a great recovery here.
Yeah, I mean it's really cool that he helps on the pick here, and then he's able to get back to screaming through like insane, and that's a 40-yard catch. All right, another Charbonnet run, Griff, or
Yeah, well, one more.
all right, let's. They didn't have many plays. We should be able to find it. Yeah, Michael Williams, I think, is pretty good, to be fair.
Agreed.
That's another gap struggle for them. Is this a good play to look at? It's like using the toss tendency against the defense.
Yeah. So making them think toss, running. Is he tossing in the inside zone? That's crazy.
Toss into inside zone, yeah. This is a pretty good rep from Sundell, all
Yeah.
things considered. Great pad level. Nice pulling the hips through. Feet churn.
But he doesn't really sustain it, does he? Late into the rep.
No. He
And
kind of
this
wins off the initial quick speed and the I think they've run a lot of outside zone to this point, so it's kind of that gives him a bit of a head start as well. Zabel is just incredibly fast. Like, he's so fast and quick. But yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
All right. That can be enough run game if you want it to be.
yeah. Well, you say that. We're kind of going to look at 49ers run game now, right?
True.
How long do we have, Griff?
I've got like 20 minutes.
Cool. And then we'll preview the Steelers. So 15 minutes on this, then preview the Steelers. Right.
I don't know. Maybe we look at 3 plays.
Yeah,
defensively.
And we can talk about it like in the wider sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Griff, the Seahawks defense, we had been saying for a while on this podcast that, well, we said a number of things, but that they needed to improve on first and second down, that they needed like some more tools versus Shanahan on first and second down, and we hadn't seen evidence of that happening yet, and that this was a big game for McDonald to kind of show that he'd learned a bit, and maybe he could run nickel bear, maybe he could run like some fire zones and some movements up front to like attack into the teeth of the run or attack where the run is going. And Griff, this was a game where that actually did materialize. So, Griff, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's one linebacker off the ball, that's 5 guys on the line, and that's 5 DBs.
So what does that mean, Maddie? Nickel bear.
Yeah, although this is like what was cool is
more
they kind of shaded to the tight end, right? If it's a pair, so that'll be like their sink front, so their nickel bear front, but the game plan adjustment to basically get into under, right? Like nose, 5 tech, edge, 3 tech.
Yeah, no. So you're right. They're not in the bear front here. They're in there were some actual bear fronts this game, but this is under structure, 5-man under structure. But you're pairing it with nickel. So the still the notion of getting 5 bodies on the line of scrimmage and having nickel personnel in the back 7. And they're throwing here. But also, all right, so you do that for run purposes, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a pass play. So how does the pass rush look like? Do they get any heat?
Well, because the argument, right, for not doing this is it is harder to rush with 4, just from an angles perspective. Like, It's a pretty tough job on Derek Hall. You kind of get lopsided in that this side has the advantage. They do okay. It's not great.
They do give Murphy a 1-on-1. I like Murphy having a 1-on-1 with a center. He's going to win a lot of those snaps.
I think this approach really, like up front, is really good for Murphy because it gets him 1-on-1 more, and it will accent his strengths a bit more.
Yeah, it's not a bad rush from Mafe.
No.
And Murphy gives you some pocket push here, so.
Yeah. And what I like about the front look, and I think it's important to say, like because they're doing it out of nickel, there's no like substituting. It's making them more multiple
Yeah,
and
yeah. So, like, how are they getting into it half the time? They're kicking in one of the edges, like Demarcus Lawrence or maybe Derek Hall one time, but like they're kicking Demarcus Lawrence into a 4-eye, 270 pounder who can actually play 4-eye. And then they're rolling the will down Tyree Snyder, Drake Thomas down to the edge to play a stand up outside linebacker on the line of scrimmage. And the ability to get into that front, like that was the whole principle behind us wanting to draft Keon White, right? A guy that
mhm
can be a true 4-down edge and a true 3-down interior player as well,
mhm
as in a 4-eye or 4 technique.
mhm
So the ability to do that is just huge in terms of multiplicity. You don't have to substitute. So if you get caught in hurry up, you can just shift your front.
mhm.
And so here,
And
here we have a true nickel bear look.
yeah, kind of crazy. Also, that you spoke about Demarcus Lawrence able to play the 4-eye, so inside shoulder the tackle. But Derek Hall also was the
Yeah.
guy who was reducing down, which he is a very like plays stronger than his listed weight, right? He's a very
Hmm.
strong play strength guy. Really cool that he's able to do this.
Yeah,
Um,
he's a gargoyle.
Again, it's a pass.
But it's cool to have a pressure package built into this because why wouldn't you? You're forcing what do you call this? Does this look like man protection or
Yeah, it's man on man. I think so. This is really difficult for the Niners because they see these down guys. This guy's releasing on a route. This guy's releasing on a route. So they're like, okay, well we'll block here, or we'll block here, we'll block here, we'll block here, we'll block here, and McDonald just calls a pressure where Hall is basically picking the guard off, and Julian Love is able to then scream up the A gap just totally unblocked, like
yeah.
because this guy's out of the picture, this guy's out of the picture on Hall, this guy's looking out here. This is a very effective pressure out of this. These guys aren't making the play; they're out here and out
And
here.
and if he's got pressures built off of this look, that means he's actually got a real package for this, and this isn't just like some sideshow front check that he'll do occasionally. Like he's actually got a defense in mind for this whole thing.
Yeah,
So it's to speak more broadly, like you were saying earlier, like this is NFC defense now. Like he wasn't doing this last year, and that's why the heavy hitting NFC teams gashed them. Um, this is NFC West defense. This is the type of defense that would have helped them in the Green Bay game last year. Would
mm-hmm.
they have won it? Like I don't know. I'm just saying, like this gives you a better chance on the whiteboard. You
Yeah,
know?
because this is also 1st and 10. Like it's huge to have a negative play on 1st and 10, and that was the problem. They weren't able at times to get enough negative plays last year on 1st and 2nd down. And it's also disguise wise pretty cool. Like they're showing one high, like man to man, or maybe cover 3, but you can see how that kind of looks like man or cover 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then on the snap, they spin and they're playing out here, deep half, cloud, quarter, and then this guy's looking for the 3, I guess. And yeah,
Yep.
just really cool to play 2 high fire zone out of that. Which like Purdy knows he's in shit. He can't really throw here fast because of how that corner plays.
Yeah, because they're no, never mind. It would be that would be the outlet, but like you're saying, it's Job's playing it well. So, all right, maybe one more
Yep.
sync.
Hopefully we get. Have you got a timestamp? Oh,
I think
what's
this is the
this?
other one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
And we get a run. Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
and the coverage is cool because they're playing, I think, an invert cloud.
No,
No,
not
no,
this
no,
play.
no, not this one, not this one.
But point being, Griff, again to your point about like it being a fleshed out package now. Like they have different coverages of this. Like you're talking invert cloud, like get the corner out of the run fit. Here, this is just a fire zone, right, where they're sending the nickel off the edge, Warrior in mind. They're rolling down. They're playing cover 3 behind it, or fire zone behind it, right? And yeah, that's what they do. And what's the down and distance here? We should always have the context. 2nd and 4, right? So first down didn't go great. Let's try and win. This is as we spoke about when it comes to Kubiak, this is the ideal down and distance for the offense they're up against. So you need to try and get, it would be the classic 2nd down struggles we're speaking about, where you need to try and actually stop them or get a negative play here, or at least, for nothing, to make a passing down happen on 3rd down. And this is exactly what they do. Like, not the most revolutionary thing, but from the bear look, Griff, they kind of stunt down into a 6-1 or 6-2. And it's just really tough, again, for the 49ers to block this in their scheme. They're running counter.
They're running counter weak. And honestly, counter weak doesn't work against a bear front because there's no free climb to the 2nd level on the front side of the play.
Like here, because he can't get here, he can't get here.
Because it's a 2-man surface to that side, right? You don't have a tight end who can free climb.
Right,
and create a C-gap bubble. So you need 52 to probably box the kick out, and then Jones contract the puller. But then also, like, if the
42, right?
Yeah, 42. Sorry, but the interior, there's so many bodies on the inside that the offensive line, if they make one mistake, one guy's getting free. And also, look at the stance; they're all one gapping. Now Leo is stunting, right? So, but the principle is they're playing with vertical techniques.
Yeah, they're allowed to attack a bit more,
right?
And get into the backfield, get upfield.
And it's so hard to combo anyone or double anyone.
And the 49ers are trying, like we saw with the Seahawks offense, they're trying to make it look like the toss outside zone play before running counter. But because the toss takes longer to develop, Leo's just in the backfield, basically unblocked for the TFL.
Mm-hmm. And then also, if the ball did get where it was intending to go, you've got Murphy crossing face successfully, and he's available to be an extra front side defender, which against gap scheme, you try to cross face if you can, even if you're one gapping.
Right, because I think it's actually... Right?
Mm-hmm.
And we said about how we like Murphy as a head-up nose because when it's not the same effect, but if he were lagging, so if you're playing in the backside A, that's where he's really effective. Like, when he's able to kind of show head up and then cross face on guys, he's very good. Because that's where his quickness shines and his handwork shines.
Yep.
All right, so that was really cool, Griff, and that's something that we can expect to... we didn't really do too much of a job explaining it, but it's something we can expect to see again, you'd think, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Griff, this matchup is looking terrible. At the time of recording, Devin Witherspoon's missed consecutive practices with a knee injury that apparently happened on the play where Josh Jobe had the very impressive pick. We also have Mike McDonald not committing to Reek Woolen as starter, and then also saying that Jobe, the corner, has earned the opportunity to play more. So, heading into a matchup with DK Metcalf, a tall receiver, you would think that would be the ideal one for Reek Woolen to perform his skill set, play some press man-to-man on DK, run faster than DK. Like, Josh Jobe is a very technically savvy, consistent player, but he ain't 6'4", and he ain't that long, and he ain't that fast either, so that seems a bit scary. So, Griff, that said about the perimeter corner thing, am I catastrophizing if Witherspoon can't go, like they're like borderline screwed because this is a nickel defense. Witherspoon's their backup, like nickel to Nick Emenwari, and they invest so much time and energy and resources into being nickel that their base package just isn't that fleshed out.
Hmm.
And Arthur Smith likes to get multiple tight ends out in the field. Johnny Smith, Pat Frymuth, the really tall guy who they try to make a thing every year, who's like 6 or 7 or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Um,
yeah, is this disastrous, or are they just going to play like Julian Love as a big nickel, put Tyakado on the field as a
right.
deep safety, and they'll like get by?
Yeah. So who is the team's third nickel? Who's the emergency nickel? I feel like it's got to be either Love or Kobe Bryant. I'd rather have one of those two doing it.
Maybe a combo for like disguise purposes, right? Maybe you see like
Yeah.
3 safety stuff and
And on the first drive, we did see a disguise where Eamon Worry uh, bailed out into coverage
yep,
and into a deep half, and Love was down as the nickel. So
yeah. Idea being
clearly
they run
they've
into the safety rotation, right?
right. Yeah, good point. So all that's worrisome, especially on the road, a 10 a.m. game. Um, I had predicted a loss for this game during the
Ooh,
season preview, but that was based off of the assumption that the Steelers were going to stuff the run and be a really strong ground team themselves on offense. And at least if week one against the Jets is any indication, both of those assumptions were false. Um, week one lies, so maybe they'll be a completely different team in week two. I am worried about the line of scrimmage still, but I feel like Woolen and Joe can handle the perimeter well. DK might rattle in a go ball, in a tight window over the shoulder thing, but like there's no better corner equipped to take on DK than Tariq Woolen in the league, like stylistically speaking. So that will be a fun battle. Um, I do wonder what the tight ends and their kind of quick hitting play action concepts from Arthur. Um, if Devin can't go, I feel like I have to predict a loss. I just don't feel great about it.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, that's how impactful he is. We talk about knock-on effects, like that would be significant. And the DB room's already like injured in terms of Emanwari, and then there's some weird stuff going on, obviously with the Reek Willen situation and whatnot.
all right. Do we have a score prediction?
Well, I said, Griff, that they would win this game, but I'm just going to go off the fact. Also, Julian Love's dealing with a groin deal. I'm just going to say like they're too banged up to win this, unfortunately. Um, and then I'm going to say, hold on.
Offensively, though, let's see some play action. Let's shorten the game. High dose of boots, high dose of pocket play action. Let's see some more 12 personnel, maybe less 21 to get the tight ends involved in the pass game.
Yeah, and like running gap on the Steelers is probably not the move, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably not.
I can see Pittsburgh winning this 24-17, but I did say, Griff, that McDonald does own Aaron Rodgers, so that could look very stupid very quickly. Obviously that week one thing, we spoke about being false in so many ways, like it's not real, and things change very fast. Maybe they are the outlier, but they did they put up some points, albeit against the Jets, but
Yeah. I'm going to guess 21-20 Pittsburgh. Well, are we allowed to go against our preseason picks? We have to ask Majamba that.
we just doubled a. Hey, information changes. And so, Griff, that has us with the Seahawks at 0-2 and then hosting the New Orleans Saints and Rat Pack Rattler in the building.
The Rat Man.
So that would be pretty bad.
Yeah, starting on 2 would be very bad for the vibes. But I want to see improvement from the offense regardless, though. And yeah. Maddie, really quick, the Raiders. Okay, so they played a bad Patriots team. They beat them soundly. The only guarantees I felt strong.
Well, it was almost a one-score game, Griff.
Yeah, but they were in control.
Uh,
The saying, the Patriots are in control now. The Patriots were never in control.
Ooh.
So the guarantees about the Raiders defense, looking at the roster, was that I felt they were going to stay on top and they're going to stuff the run. They did both those things. And then, of
Mm-hmm.
course, they gave up stuff in the intermediate in the
Of
coverage.
course.
So the corners have to get better at squeezing the underneath route tree,
Yep.
especially when they're being stemmed vertically.
Yep.
They got to squeeze things,
Yep.
the dig routes, the comebacks, the outs. I haven't watched all the tape yet though in the Raiders game. I actually don't know how the linebackers played on play action, but they fit the run very well. Offensively, I
Josh,
mean,
sorry, Josh McDaniels, right? It's like he hadn't played the Seahawks like cover three system before.
mhm.
Like, what the hell was he doing? That's my
Yeah,
take.
yeah. I'm Crosby and Kuntz got pressure. Butler got some complimentary pressure. Tyree Wilson made some plays. Um, they need more juice, but there's a
Mm.
heartbeat there. Offensively,
Well,
I
hold on,
mean,
hold on.
okay,
Every time I see that Carroll system as well, it's like they have to have corners you press. Like that makes it tick. Like,
yeah.
and
Why didn't they press?
I don't know. And then they have to find ways to be able to press when they get a slot, rather than it always being press bail. Like, either you play
To
man or
disrupt timing.
why didn't they press? Because it's like they're the smaller corners, like
Well, it
who've won the
might be
jobs right
because
now.
Caillou Blue Kelly just outplayed Darian Porter, and maybe Darian Porter
Yeah, no,
would
he
be
did, he did.
the presser.
Anyway, and then offensively, Griff.
All right, they're still a pass heavy team. All right, so the whole like people like everywhere were like Chip Kelly runs the ball, Pete Carroll runs the ball, and I'm like, but if you give them Geno Smith, they're going to throw it. And what do? They threw it 60% of the time on early down. So this is a
60?
pass for yeah. The Raiders are a pass first team with a complementary run game.
But Griff, you're telling me that before the zone read attack of Russell Wilson, when it was really efficient, you're telling me that Pete used to pass a lot? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? We're still living in a 4 or 5 year period from 10 years ago instead of
Mm.
taking in all the information before and all the information
Who
after
who
that.
could forget when Bill Walsh wrote in the LA Times in 2006 that Pete Carroll was reinventing offensive football with how he passed through the air?
Yeah,
Who could
interesting,
forget
isn't it?
that?
Who could
Bill
forget?
Walsh, ever heard of him? Um,
I really think it's funny that if you're just a defensive minded head coach, people just project to run first onto you no matter what. They just
yeah.
assume you have to be. But the Chip and Geno offense looks really cool. There's a lot of play action. Obviously, he wants to challenge all three levels.
It's interesting
Um,
to me, Griff, how they like, are they 12 or 11 personnel? Like, all their 12 stuff looked awesome. Their 11 stuff kind of was not awesome, and then the Pats got them with like some blitzes where the line just didn't handle the communication for it.
so they got blitzed like 13 times,
Yeah,
and they either hit an explosive or got sacked.
makes sense. Yeah,
So they have it's going to be
like
a
on
roller
the
coaster.
the Trey Tucker touchdown, like cover zero, like the line did a great job picking it up. Ashton
Mhm.
Genty looked good in pass pro as well.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Genty looked great in pass pro. The run blocking was okay. It wasn't that bad. Genty needs to be a little more patient, but then you also see the capacity for explosiveness with when Chip chooses his spots to run out of shotgun against light fronts, like we were talking about earlier with Walker um, and Kubiak. So the front beaters are going to be fun. They'll be an explosive run team. Um, I don't know about the median run though. Like they might get stuffed a lot, then also hit 10-yard gashes type of thing.
Hmm. I'm really excited actually for the Monday Night Football game. I mean, is it fucking sorry? That's so rude. Why am I
Matthew,
swearing?
God, what's
It's at
wrong with
like
you?
it's at 3 a.m. Um, which
Um,
is appalling for me. But
yeah,
I will
Dome
be
Gino
watching.
though. Dome Gino.
Dome Gino and the Chargers offense, like they have got something. Like they're so
Yeah.
balanced. The way they use condensed splits with the offense, actually having QJ as an intermediate runner of routes, using play action early without like running it, like they look very very balanced. So yeah, what a matchup! Can't wait.
Yeah. Maddie, instead of dropping the F bomb live on air, you could believe in your abilities and express your true self with confidence. You